In an attempt to cleanse her stagnancy and to make up for lost efforts, she decided to draft an EP, a collection of poems appropriate for the currents. Internally, she began to wonder if she'd lost some of her dignity along the way, but never her identity. No, not that. Anonymous. I miss my memories of you. It's odd to say, true, but it's not the same as saying I miss you. See, I too have created clarity for a better view by clearing the occupied space I'd filled with thoughts I revisited and songs about clueless connections that led to eclipsed moons only visible when called on by the secrets you never knew. That empty feeling is no longer a vacant room or a flagrant tune. See, my memories of you were only used as a distraction from my current passions. I was lacking attraction to necessary actions mandatory to build a strong affection of lifestyle habits. I know you think this piece is about you, and the effort you stressed into hydrating a deserted root, but this isn't even about you. Although a beautiful experience I recall having with you, on your end, it may not have seemed so beautiful. Surely not useful, and far too youthful to cradle at this point in your life, which is why I had to discard those memories, so as to wash away those internal enemies that repeated the same destructive remedies to mass-produce impurities. Those feelings and those memories are conjoined by a noose. So for me, I wish I could be sorry, but they have no use. Maybe it's not the memories of you I miss, but the bliss I received from your lips with every kiss, taking me by the hand into a world where change was no longer the path. Maybe it was the fact that my then current self could be loved without committing to first loving me. And loving me, as these memories have continued to remind me, was never easy. But loving me is easy now. So I guess it's just time to finally let you go too, along with my memories of you. Let me go before I cut the chains you've placed on my ankles, leaving behind nothing but rusted iron in the form of broken links. Let me go. This is not a request. I am demanding my freedom. You are no longer allowed to hold hostage my sanity, my mind, and my reason. They are mine. Freedom belongs to me, for I have earned it. Let me go before the hand that fed me is only a bloody wrist defined by tooth marks, rips, and damned to perpetual pain. Let me go now. I'll say this once and never regret it. Communicate your boundaries. Never assume they've been accepted until they're tested. You can teach as many lessons as you'd like on the subject, but if, when the time comes for the assessment, they gotta either cheat or fail, then what's next? It's not elementary. It's not your responsibility to school the emotionally uneducated, and furthermore, it is not up to you to apply the knowledge given by you for them when you've already been deemed doctor of your own peace, surgically removing the shards of dishonesty, disgrace, disloyalty, and dismissive distaste for apologies until all that's left is a clean slate. Them stitches you create tell a story of unsolicited resilience. So why allow the opportunity to rip the seam of a perfect hem? I'll say this twice, and never forget it. Communicate your boundaries. Someone said, there's two sides to every coin. And what separates those two sides? The cliff that shifts from tails to heads. Don't let them get in your mental and burn the bridges you've built to cross the troubled waters that is the blood you refused to shed when your no was punctured through with manipulation and excuses for behaviors you had nothing to do with, until the only way to see the flip side of the situation is to turn back and tiptoe across the border, causing you to feel only borderline in control of what tales will come of this. You'll hear, well, as though the last time you didn't have a thumb underneath forcing the flick. Next time it'll be quick. Too fast to contemplate who's to blame. Now, that coin is no more valuable than the rest of their loose change. I'll say this again and never neglect it. Communicate your boundaries. What's the saying? There's a thin line between love and hate. And what draws that thin line? Well, most likely the benefit. You'll have supporters and you'll have watchers. Make yourself a meal. Share it with the world. The responses on one side will say, this looks delicious. I think I'll do it myself, with gratitude. They laugh and cool with what you decide to allow them to see. The responses on the other side say, what is this? Folks just be bragging on themselves. With attitude, they mad at you for what you showed them they could be. Hate and love both fill a vacancy. The difference between the two is when given the chance to offer a stance or to make amends, the approach is either respectful or not. When in regards to your parameters set to keep them in your life, pay attention to the decisions they make. I say this, and I bet it pushes some buttons. Communicate your boundaries. I speak on this topic because I often say I've been on both sides, from trying my best to keeping myself in a safe space, expressing this is not okay with me until the dividing line is no longer a threshold, but a corner you can make your way around to reach your destination, devastated because my words weren't enough to stop the trespassing, to turning into an untrustworthy version of nearly everything I ever said was unacceptable myself, as though those who had their margins written into with my ink weren't perfectly traced reflections of me. You see, I see this all the time, with too many perspectives to speak on, because I flipped the script on multiple occasions and had it flipped on me. A boundary is not a flat line meant to conclude the adventure, but a mountain peak you best be careful of falling from. And that is not a threat. But if I were to advise you on what to do on either side you've traveled to, I'd simply say, watch your step. September 21st, 2021. I was once told my eyes are made of glass, as though if you look into the two of them too aggressively, you might just break my glance, while seeing through the sentences I present to you as fact and not feeling, I wondered what she meant. Can you read my sorrows like a Shakespearean tragedy? Sadly, you probably can. For the hand from the goddess of creation placed transparency on me on purpose, because otherwise I'd never be able to reveal my true hurt. It's inevitable for me to hold back. With toe taps, I follow the rhythm of a queen's natural act of kindness with blindness in the back of my mind as spineless poachers seek to numb them with disloyalty. I mean, how can you betray royalty? Look at me. No. Look me in my eyes and tell me what you see. I stare into the mirror with questions for my reflection that neither of us can answer quite yet, but with a little introspection, I bet we can calculate the number of calories within the nectar of heavenly womanhood that I continuously consume and the taste. As you focus on my gaze, I focus on your body and spirit. I live within it for what seems like 1,000 minutes, and you shiver as I deliver my finest form of appreciation for you as a woman. But don't look too closely. You might find that the energy I've invested in you is slightly more than the resentment I feel for the men and women who saw these eyes too and still chose to crack the glass just enough to shatter if I apply too much liquid pressure against them, hence the need for visual aid. They've been broken too many times, wounded by too many lines, as words thrown through my path of sight like stones and sticks they say could never hurt me, but tell that to the fractures in the back of my irises. Home of my mind and my soul. Here, 98. You gotta keep up with it. Body, one, ready, and. I am the home of my mind and my soul. The two cannot speak if my body won't listen. I am the home of my mind and my soul. I know I am whole. I am the home of my mind and my soul. The two cannot speak if my body won't listen. I am the home of my mind and my soul. I know I am whole. I am the home of my mind and my soul. The two cannot speak if my body won't listen. I am the home of my mind and my soul. I know I am whole. I am the home of my mind and my soul. The two cannot speak if my body won't listen. I am the home of my mind and my soul. I know I am.